Good morning, all. The topic for today's Corporate Connect is leadership from within. We have with us today Mr. Nandakumar Gopalan as our speaker. We welcome you, sir. I welcome our beloved director, Dr. AGV Narayanan, and I welcome our faculty members, students of DJAME, and all other participants for today's Corporate Connect. Now I request my friend Indumati to introduce the speaker.
Are you there?
Good morning, all. Mr. Nandakumar Gopalan is an author, wellness mentor, and founder of Wellness Mentor Consulting. He helps working professionals and business owners overcome lifestyle diseases, work and relationship issues without drugs so that they can lead a healthy and happy life, even if they are currently under other modes of medication, through his training sessions, personal mentoring programs, and business consulting, which focuses on discovering the emotional and mental root causes of their problems and correcting them at their subconscious level. He's a postgraduate in management and has an experience of almost 30 years in operations, sales, and marketing, of which almost 14 years had been in Agri-Inputs Business industry, and the rest of it as an entrepreneur in IT training and health and wellness domains. He's an Arhatic yoga practitioner and is also into pranic healing for almost a decade. He is also a student of hypnosis, NLP, phase reading and dosing, spiritual business management, and pranic feng shui. He's a direct consultant for BNI and trains members on various businesses, networking skills, presentation and communication skills, thus helping them to be successful in life. He's also a member of prestigious board of studies for Anna University for their management programs. He also conducts workshops on leadership, networking, sales, and personal development. He mixes Eastern traditions with Western teachings and explores the science behind many of the Indian traditions and practices. Now, I request our beloved speaker to take over the session. Please, sir.
Thank you so much, Indumati. That was an awesome introduction. And at the outset, let me thank Narayanan and the management of DJ Academy for having invited me for this program. Hi, how many of you want to be successful in life? I want you to type in the chat box. Type yes if you want to be successful in life. How many of you want to be successful in life? Type yes in the chat box. You can at least type Y. Okay. And how many of you want to make a lot of money, be successful, but also be healthy and happy? So if you want to be healthy and happy when you are successful, type H in the chat box. You want to be healthy and happy. Type H in the chat box if you want to be healthy and happy. Because it's just not about becoming successful, making a lot of money. But if you don't have the good health to enjoy that, it doesn't make sense. So thank you very much. Thank you so much for typing that. My name is Nandakumar. I am your wellness mentor. And we are going to learn 3 things today. What are those 3 things we are going to talk about? We are going to actually speak about leadership from within. And in that leadership from within, what are the 3 things we are going to learn today? 1, we are going to see what is leadership from within. The second important thing what you're going to see is when you understand leadership from within, the most important aspect of leadership from within is knowing yourself. So we're going to look at 4 life positions, what we take in life, and understand what these 4 life positions are. And then we're going to close with some tips for being a leader from within. So this is what we're going to see. And I've been given a time of 1.5 hours, and let me see how best I can do justice to this session, because I normally do this as a 2-day program. So thank you again, once again for the opportunity. But before I even get into the session, I would request all of you, whoever has got no issues relating to your bandwidths, to please do switch on your videos. The energy from when you are live, it is a different matter altogether. And when you're doing an online program like this, the energy is very, very different if you're switching on your videos. So my request to all of you, my dear friends, is to switch on your videos if you don't have a bandwidth issue. You can keep your audio off, but do switch on your videos. Otherwise, it is like, the energy for the person who is talking also is, my energy comes from you. And if you're switching on your videos, thank you for switching on. If you're switching on your videos, That's a different level of energy. So I'll wait for a few seconds for you to switch on your videos and let me see all your bright and beautiful faces.
Students, quickly.
Wonderful. I see somebody combing their hair. See, that's the significance of actually switching on. You start taking care of yourself. And I'm very, as a wellness mentor, as a person who is very much bothered about the health of people, especially mental health, the first thing you need to do is to love yourself. You need to look very attractive. And we need to get groomed properly. Fantastic. So see, the screen has become so colorful suddenly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's great. So glad. And keep it this way. And I would definitely, I've finished my session. Keep your questions ready. And then once I finish and complete, then we can have a Q&A session. You can ask me questions and we can go about answering. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So these are the three things we're going to see today. And okay, my purpose has already been mentioned, so I'm not going to talk about it. Yes, I've authored a book called From Pain to Gain. It is available in Flipkart and Amazon. We're going to see what is, when we talk about leadership from within, there is something should be without, right? When you are saying within, the opposite of within is without. So what is without leadership? Now that is called external. Typically what we normally learn in our management sciences, in our colleges and everything in our academic studies, we are talking about results, we are talking about outcomes, we are talking about timetables, we are talking about deliverables, and what are all that we deliver as a manager or as a leader. So that is the aspect of the without aspect of leadership. That is external. What is the effectiveness here? The effectiveness depends upon your skills, your talents, your knowledge, your planning, your execution. Those are the things which are very important when we talk about the external aspect of leadership. Now, within leadership is internal. What does that talk about? The internal efforts for achieving your mission. So if whatever you produce externally, what are the efforts you have taken internally? The changes that you create inside you, which expresses externally as results. What are those things you do internally to you, which produces that results? So the effectiveness of this depends upon your values and ethics. It depends upon your attitude. It depends upon overcoming fear, having the courage to take risks. It depends upon taking action. It depends upon taking responsibility. So all these things become very, very important when you talk about within leadership. Who are you inside? What are the traits and qualities you have got inside you, which actually produces those kind of outcomes, which actually are expected when you go out into a corporate organization, when you work in an organization, when you go out into the corporate field, you're expected to produce all those kinds of results, which is external. But in order to produce all those kinds of results externally, you need to have an internal mechanism. So what is that internal mechanism made of? So that is what we are talking about today, about the within aspect of leadership. So leadership from within. Now, if you want to differentiate within and without, within actually, without actually you tell people what to do. The typical definition of management, getting things done through other people. So that's the typical aspect. You tell others what to do. You lead through a command and control system. Okay, you have a hierarchy of command. You are a positional leader and you lead through command. Many times it is my interest versus yours. So if there is a situation where my interest is at stake, I'm more bothered about myself than other people. I try to save myself. You hold on to power. You want things to be done your way, not the other way. It has to be my way or no way. That's all. It is motivated by the external factors. What is my salary? What is my increment? What is the recognition I'm getting? What is the reward I'm getting? It is all motivated by external aspects. So there is no regard for feelings here. So what do we talk about here? The moment you enter my office, now you have to keep everything outside and come. So this is a language which even in my earlier days, I have also spoken. The moment you enter the office, it should be outside. You can't bring your house problems into your office. Once you enter the office, you have to be fully concentrating on your work. So that's the kind of, you don't regard for any feelings there. You're driven by fear and pressure. That is what drives you. Pressure drives you, fear drives you. But when you talk about within leadership, the opposite of this, instead of telling others what to do, you walk the talk. So you lead by example. You lead through coaching and training your people. So they know, they understand, you empower them. You give them the power to implement things. It is not just about command and control. You see here as shared interest. So you build partnership and trust with your people. You share power, as I said. So it is not about you are sitting and holding on to power, but you are willing to delegate and give that power to them. So you encourage personal initiatives by people. You tell them to experiment. You tell people below you to experiment. Okay, let us see. If you want to try out something new, please do try. Let's see how it happens. You give them that support. You are motivated by the internal. So here it is again values and ethics. What are those internal things which are important? You have your own set of core values. As companies have core values, as companies have mission and vision which are based on certain core values, you also have core values. Here, very importantly, you value feelings. You understand that you are a human being first. You have the same emotions which anybody else will have. And how can we help these people who have those kind of problems and issues in their life? Now, today, after this corona, at least, this awareness has gone up. And you are driven by clarity. You're not driven by fear and pressure. You're driven by clarity. You're very calm and you're focused on what to do under pressure. So this is a difference between being a leader without and being a leader within. So according to Peter Bender, who has written a book called Leadership from Within, he talks about 5 steps about becoming a leader from within. What are those 5 steps he's talking about? He says, first, know yourself. And that's the most important thing needed. Most of us will think, what is there? I know who I am. I know what I am. But the more you go deeper, many times we don't understand what we are. We are very, very superficial, particularly in the current world. With all the social media and all those likes and dislikes, what you see in Facebook and Instagram, that is what defines you. So it's more about the external appearances, external presentations, what people do, which actually drives us and which we think that's how we are. But actually knowing ourselves is a much bigger thing. The second is have a vision and mission for yourself in your life. Not only for the company you work with, but you also need to have a vision and mission. Have the ability and the guts to take risks. The proportionate amount of risk you take is the level in which you will also grow in life. But yes, this must be calculated, but are you ready to take this? That's an important aspect. And the fourth, he says, you must communicate effectively. And the fifth, he says, measure progress and results. What gets measured gets done. That's a saying. So you have to talk about measuring your progress and results. So among these 5 things, knowing yourself, having a vision, taking risks, communicating effectively, and measuring progress and results, what do you think is the most difficult? Can you type in the chat box? What do you think is the most difficult? You can put the number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. What is most difficult? What do you think is the most difficult? Ranjit Raghu says 1. Okay. 1. Surya 1. Koshika 1. Mahalingam 1. Keshav 4. 3. Pranesh. Selvam 4. Very good. 3, 4, 1. Actually, yes, the most difficult thing among these 4 is having a vision and mission is not difficult. Taking risk also is not very difficult. Communicating is also not very difficult. Communication doesn't mean that you should speak in English. Communication means that you should convey something to the other person, whatever be the language it is. It can be in your mother tongue. So that is not very difficult. And measuring progress and results is very, very easy because so many tools are available. The most difficult thing is actually knowing yourself. That's the most difficult thing. So what we are going to see today is also about knowing yourself. So Maxwell has written a book. John Maxwell has written a book on 5 levels of leadership. Now he talks about 5 levels in which people become leaders, and you go through that hierarchy. So the first level of leadership is called positional leadership. So that's where we all start. That is because now people respect you as a leader only because you have been appointed as a leader. So somebody is made a class leader, somebody is made a HOD, somebody is made a CEO of a company. You join a company, there is somebody who is a boss. So since there is somebody already as a leader there, you have to follow them. So that's called positional leadership. The second level of leadership is called permission leadership. So here, They want you to become a leader, and so you have become. And typically now in your college or in your school, you'll see that you select a class people leader, school people leader and all. There, most of the time, there is a general consensus among people that if this person becomes our leader, it will be very good. And so that is called permission leadership. It is based on relationships. The third level of leadership is called production leadership. Now, this is because of what results you have produced for the organization. You have created certain results, and because of which you are seen as a leader. So what have you done for the organization? You are seen as a leader. The fourth level of leadership is called people development leadership. Now here it is because of what you have done for them. As a leader, what is that you have personally done for the people below you? Because of what you have done for them, they want you to be your leader and they look at you as a leader. That is called people development. And the fifth is called pinnacle leadership, which is supposed to be the highest. They respect you for what you are. They respect you for what you represent. If you look at many of the top leaders of the world, or even many of the spiritual leaders in the world today, for example, even you can take the case of some of our cine artists like Rajinikanth, Kamal Haasan, and many people, or Amitabh Bachchan and all that. People have huge fan followings. They have not done any of these four. They are in a position of their pinnacle leadership because people just follow them because of what they are. I like them as they are. I like Amitabh Bachchan as he is, so I follow him. I'm a fan of Amitabh Bachchan. So like that. So that's called pinnacle leadership. That's the highest level of leadership where you can reach to. And when you talk about leadership from within, we are talking about the fourth and fifth level of leadership. People development. People, they respect you for what you have done to them and for what you are. So in order to get into that pinnacle level of leadership, people respecting you for what you are, there must be something inside us, right? We need to build something inside us to get into that level of pinnacle leadership. So that's what we are going to see today. So what are the traits of a leader from within? When you talk about leadership from within, one, you must have it inside you first. Do I have the aspiration, the motivation to lead? Many people don't have that intention to lead. They want to be followers. You might have studied the adoption process, where you studied about, you might have studied early adopters, early majority, late majority, and all that. It will come in your marketing and all. So where are you in that? Are you a laggard, or are you an early majority? Are you a late majority? Where are you? Or are you an early adopter? So like that, do you have that inside you? Are you aware of your own strengths and weaknesses? Many times we are not aware of our weaknesses. We are not aware of our strengths. Both happens for many people. Are you willing to ask help from other people? Now, one of the biggest problems what we face today, and when I see youngsters, is that they have a huge problem asking. They think that asking is not right. What happens to my ego? The ego gets affected here. And if I ask something, and if I say that I don't know something, it's really very, very bad. What will they think of me? So there is a lot of fear associated with asking here. What impression will I create when I go and tell them that I don't know something? Can you help me? I'm not able to understand the subject. But that's where the biggest problem is. And if you have to be a leader from within, you must have the ability to ask. It doesn't mean that you will keep asking people for everything around the world and you will not do anything. That's not the meaning here. But if you know that you have a weakness in one particular area, are you ready to ask for help? That's important. And then the fourth is, what is that you want from life? What is that you want of life? What are your aspirations? What is that you want to get? High in energy and have clarity of thought and action. A person who is a leader from within is always high on the energy scale. There's a lot of energy, and that energy is contagious. So because that energy is contagious, he or she influences all the people around them. So that's leadership in action, and that is a person who has got very high degree of energy inside. So there is a lot of clarity here. There is a lot of clarity of thought. There is a lot of clarity in action, and that's where the energy also comes from. As I said earlier, willing to take risks, and that's one important criteria for any kind of people who are into business. You must be ready to take risks. Having high moral standards and ethics. Now, you might think that this is something very, very opposite of what we learn. In India, can we do business with morality? Can we be honest? Can we actually grow, become successful without putting other people down? And most of the time we are in a society where we think, no, it is important to bribe. It is without that you have to give commission, and all those things are needed to grow in business. It's not true. I have lived a life on both sides. And I know for sure that you can have a very high degree of moral standards and ethics in your business. I was running an IT training company for 14 years, and we never used to give a single penny as commission to anybody. And that was when IT industry had huge amount of kickbacks happening for training, getting training orders. I have gone to meetings where people have laughed at me and said, you don't pay commission to people, you don't bribe, that means you're not fit for business. The company even today is running. It's more than 20 years that organization is running and doing very well. So it doesn't mean that, no, you should do all the kinds of falsification, avoid tax, cheat people, cheat the government. No, not at all. Trusting your gut feelings and intuitions. So that's also something which is very, very important. We are in a world where we talk about only logic. We are all left brain mostly. And that's what our academic things have taught, our education has taught us, and everything is more developing the left brain. The left brain is your logical mind. But that is alone not enough. You need to develop your right brain also. That's the seat of creativity. That's the seat of intuition. That's the seat of so many things, imagination and all that. So you need to have also your understanding and recognize that you must be able to go with your gut, and that will help you many times. Logic should be there, but there are times in life when logic doesn't help. So you must be able to trust your gut feelings and intuitions. Express clearly and communicate effectively. That is very, very important. I need not explain that at all. It's very important to express clearly. Accurate perception is important first. We need to perceive things correctly, and then we need to express them and communicate them also correctly. So accurate perception and correct expression. Willing to change. You need to have an open mind. The more and more we are rigid, the more and more we are mentally fixed, the lesser we will grow in life. And with the kind of changes which are happening in the world today, unless otherwise you are ready to be flexible and open, it is very, very difficult to survive in the days to come. The pandemic has completely changed the way people do business. There are many industries which has gone for a toss, like tourism industry, travel industry, food industry. Many kinds of industries have been wiped out. What will all those entrepreneurs do? If they think that everything is lost, now let me wait until the normal comes in. Is it going to come back? No. All of them have shifted to new businesses. Now, if you don't have an open mind to shift, and if you're fixed and if you're sitting there, you're going to ask for trouble. You're going to get doomed. So my request to all of you is, you can take a screenshot of the screen and write down each of these points on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest. Where are you in terms of being a leader? Do you have it? What is the level in which you have? All of this you will have in you, but what is the range at which you're having? Are you aware of your strength and weakness? Let's say from 1 to 10, where are you? Okay, I'm aware 50%. I'm aware of it 60%, 70%. Where are you? 6, 7, 8. What is your number? What is your number about willing to take risks? Are you a person who is always ready to take risks? Or are you a very, very conservative who doesn't take risks at all? So if you can scale yourself and see, you will get a picture of what you are and where are the areas in which you need to develop. So that can be done later, and you can just take a picture and do that. So how to become a leader? The first, as I said, knowing if you want to become a leader from within, the first important thing is you need to know yourself.
Nandakumar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. If you don't mind, can you go back to the earlier slide? Earlier one. The list of leadership styles, 5 leadership styles. Okay. May I know the difference between the second and fourth one? Because in the second one, people are electing you as a leader, hoping that. So
in the second one, they want you to be a leader. Okay.
With the hope that
you will do good for them.
Something. Okay. Whereas the fourth one.
Yeah, in like the example for second could be even our own elections and all that, where the group of people we vote for somebody and we make them a leader. With permission, after you become a leader, what is that you have done for these people? That is the fourth aspect.
Right.
Have you really done anything good for them? Okay, they have made you a leader, but what is that you have done to them?
Right.
It individually, have you built road for them? Have you done, like in our political system, have you what is that you have done for your constituency? Have you really helped? Have you created good things for these people because they elected you?
Yeah.
And if you have not done that, they will pull you down from there.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
You will not be able to stay there.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. So we are talking about how to become a leader from within, for which you must know who you are. The second is what values and beliefs you carry. What do you stand for? What are your ethics and your morals? What is your attitude towards life and people? What is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? What is your passion? What is your mission? And why is that you're doing that? What are your pains? What are your fears? What are your expectations? Now, when we talk about all these questions, we are addressing one aspect of the human body called the mind. All these answers lie in that one particular place called the mind. Now, if I tell you, you are what you think, that's not an understatement. Whatever you have become till today is because of what you have thought till yesterday. Agree or disagree. And whatever you're going to become from today is based on what you're going to think from today on. Yes or no? Type yes in the chat box if you agree with me. Whatever you have become today, wherever you are, in whatever aspect of your life you are, it is because of the way you have thought. And whatever you're going to become from now is going to be based on what you're going to think from now. You could think of yourself as a confident person, non-confident person, having a superiority complex, having an inferiority complex, very sensitive, very amicable, very bold, very strong, whatever it is. All those things are ingrained in one aspect of your mind, that is your thoughts. And the seat of thoughts is your mind. So it's very, very important for us to understand how the mind functions and how the mind works so that we will be able to reprogram this mind. Now, mind is our operating system. The body, human operating system is the mind. We all know computers today, so it's very easy to talk that language. Now, if the operating system is corrupt, nothing can go properly in life. So you need to have an excellently working operating system. And in a particular operating system, you can only put applications which are amenable or which are compatible with the operating system. If you have a Windows operating system in your computer, you cannot put any kind of apps which are developed for Mac OS. So you can put apps only which are compatible with Windows operating system. And that's how our life is also. Whatever we perceive and apply in our life is based on the kind of operating system we have. So what kind of beliefs we have, what kind of thoughts we have, what kind of values we attribute to, what are our experiences and what have we inferred from them. So all that becomes the most important aspects of understanding ourselves and understanding the mind. So if you come to that, what is that important thing you need to know about the mind? I'm not going to go into the details of what the mind is, where the mind is and all. That's a big subject by itself. So this life operating system called the mind, we actually have 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. You generate about 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. And you know what research says? 90% of these thoughts are old thoughts. And 80% of them are negative. So these are called as automatic negative thoughts. Okay, they're called automatic negative thoughts. They're called ants. Now, every thought what you generate releases chemicals that causes certain feelings in your body. Okay, so every thought generates chemicals which actually causes certain feelings in your body. So when you talk about the mind operating system, you've got two important things here. One is the thought, the other is the feelings. So these thoughts and feelings actually make up your mind in very simple terms. Okay, I'm not going to the details, but very simple terms, thoughts and feelings make up our mind. So if you are looking at thoughts and feelings, and I'm going to draw them onto a line. So if I represent thoughts on a horizontal axis and I represent feelings on a vertical axis, now thoughts generally, you can, if you are thinking, most of the time, you are either thinking about the past or you are thinking about the future. Agree with me or not? Yes or no? Most of the time. We are either thinking about the past or we are thinking about the future. And if you take the feelings aspect, we are either thinking positively or we are thinking negatively. That's it. We are either positive about a particular aspect that has happened in our life or we are negative about it. We are thinking positively or negatively. Now we have 4 quadrants. Now, can you tell me, you can unmute and say also, can you tell me this quadrant where your thoughts are in the past, you are thinking about the past and the feelings about the past is negative. Let's say, for example, your professor scolded you because you didn't submit your project or assignment on time and you're feeling very bad about it. So this is, you're thinking about the past, the feeling is negative. What can you name this quadrant as? You can either type or you can tell. What can you call this quadrant?
Past negative thoughts.
Yeah, past negative. Can you give a name? Can you give a name for that quadrant?
Guilt feelings.
Guilt feelings. Okay. What else? What else can be a name for that quadrant? Can you give a name for that quadrant? You are thinking about the past and you're feeling very bad about it. It could be somebody's death in life. Let's say, for example, somebody close to you passed away during the pandemic. You had something which happened in your life. Your family went into a debt or something like that. Your friend left you. Let's say here, because you're all youth, your girlfriend ditched you and went off, a boyfriend ditched you. What is that called? It's the past and you keep thinking about it again and again and again. Come on, come on, come on. No energy in the chat box. What can you call that quadrant as? What can you call that quadrant? Okay, let me go ahead because of time. This quadrant is called the pain quadrant. It's pain for us, right? You're thinking about something which happened in the past and you're feeling very bad about it. So there is some heaviness in the heart. So that's pain. You lost somebody loved one. There was a relationship which got broken. Okay, there was a family issue, financial issue, which you couldn't overcome. Maybe as students now, you might have not faced many of these things, but still, you didn't get the kind of marks you wanted and you still keep bothering about it. I should have got more marks, but I didn't. Something like that. So that's pain. So what about the... Yes,
Nandakumar,
yes,
Mr. Janakiram Raju, who is another alumnus of TNAU, he has mentioned it as suicide. Probably you might have seen it in the chat box.
Sorry.
Could you see?
Yeah, I saw now.
Right.
Yes, it could be suicidal also, because that's a kind of, that's what leads people to suicide. Now, what about the next quadrant, bottom right? Your thoughts are about the future, but your feelings about the future is negative. You're thinking about the future. Now, what kind of job I will get? Will I get a campus interview or not? What kind of salary I will get? How will my future be? What are the job opportunities for me after doing this management course? What can be the name of this when you think about the future and the feelings about it is negative?
Fear.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Excellent. So this quadrant is called the fear quadrant. Now remember this quadrant, the speciality of this quadrant is nothing has happened here. You're only having imagination here. You're feeling and you're thinking negatively. And so that is fear. So that's a fear quadrant. Now let us go to the upper left quadrant. You're thinking about the past, but you're looking at it positively. What can that be called? You're thinking about the past, but you're looking at it positively. Let's say your professor scolded you for not having submitted, but you realize, okay, he scolded. I was right in getting that scolding because I didn't finish it properly. So next time I'll do it properly. So you're thinking positively. You're not feeling bad that you got scolded, but you're looking at how you can correct yourself. So you're thinking about the past, and your feelings about the past is positive. What can you call that quadrant as?
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia, okay. What else? Progress, what else? What can you call that quadrant? You're thinking about the past, but your feelings about the past is positive. Maybe I got less marks last time. I know why I got less marks. Maybe I didn't prepare properly. Next time I'll not do that. I'll spend more time learning my marketing management.
Realization.
Realization, excellent. That is also a good word. But basically, this is about learning. You learn. There's a learning happening there. So when you're looking at the past and when you're looking at the positively, there is a learning which is happening. I know I should not do this. I know I should change this. So this quadrant is called the learn quadrant. Okay. And the next is gain. You're thinking about the future and you're positive about that. So this quadrant is called the gain quadrant. You're gaining in life. Now, if you take your 100% of time to be, you spend in these 4 quadrants, all of us, most of us as human beings spend maximum amount of time in almost all these quadrants, but the percentage varies. Now, I want you to write this down and tell me what percentage of time, your time, you spend in each of these quadrants. How much percentage of time do you spend in the pain quadrant in your life? Take your entire life if you want and see where have I been? Maximum. Have I been spending more time in the pain quadrant or have I been spending more time in the fear quadrant? What percentage? Now the entire thing should total to 100. What is the percentage of time I spent in the learn quadrant? And what is the percentage of time I spent in the gain quadrant? Once you write, I will tell you what is the global average. So what percentage of time we spend in each of the 4 quadrants? How much you spend on the pain, worrying about the past? How much you're spending on fear, worrying about the future? How much time you spend on the learn quadrant, looking at the past positively or looking at the future positively? Can you put it on the chat box? Starting with pain, fear, learn. Yeah, you can put like that. P40, fear 20, learn 20 and gain 20. Sriram sir, fantastic. I think we should give a round of applause to you. It's almost 60% in the lower quadrants and 40% in the upper quadrant. Fantastic. Let's wait for some more, at least about another 3, 4, 5. Come on, friends. Hey, and most of you have switched off your videos. Okay. Let's see how much percentage of time you are spending. Come on. Pain 30. Sidhu says pain 30%, fear 10%, learn 40, gain 20. Okay, 60% up and 40% down. Narayanan 20, 30, so 50 down, 50 up. Sharumati 30, 30, 60 down and 40 up. Very good, Sharumati. Raghu says 12.5. Okay. So accurate. Fear 25, learn 12.5, gain. Gain is 50. Okay. Fear is 25. Okay. Surya says pain and fear is 70% and the upper quadrant is 20%, 30%. Pain and fear 70, learn and gain is 30%. Janikira. Super. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All of you need to have a round of applause and a pat on your back for being honest. Now, this is not something for others. It's for yourself to understand where you are. This is for yourself to understand. Nobody is going to evaluate you based on that. But if you're evaluating yourself and seeing the global average, if you see, more than 80% of the people of the world spend more than 80% of their time in the lower 2 quadrants, in the pain quadrant and in the fear quadrant. I gave you a clue. The previous research said 80,000 thoughts, 90% are old thoughts, of which 80% of them are negative thoughts. So when your thoughts are negative, obviously your feelings are negative. Only if your thoughts are positive, feelings and thoughts are correlated. If your thoughts are positive, your feelings are positive. If your thoughts are negative, your feelings are negative. So when you correlate that, most of the people of the world spend most of their time in the lower 2 quadrants. That's why the number of successful people in the world are very, very less. You only see about 15% of the people who are actually successful in the world. They make a lot of money. They control a lot of things. They have more than 85% of the wealth of the world. Why does that happen? They live on the upper quadrants and most others live on the lower quadrants. So you'll ask me, what is wrong in that? That's how, if the major population is like that, I don't see anything wrong in that. There is a big wrong in spending your time in the lower 2 quadrants. Now, what is that big round? These two quadrants actually are your stress quadrants. We'll talk about it later. We'll come to that later. But before that, we'll just go into quick detail about what each of these quadrants mean. I've created an acronym for each of these quadrants. Okay, I'll quickly take you through because, again, for want of time, I'll be a little bit rushing. If you want to stop me somewhere, please do stop. Pain stands for, if you are in the pain quadrants, pain stands for, P stands for problems. So a person in the pain quadrant always thinks everything in life is a problem. My studies is a problem, my education is a problem, my family is a problem, my mamanar is a problem, mamiar is a problem, everything is a problem. And if you go to tell him, no, if you have a problem and tell that person, you know, I have this issue, he'll say, your problem is nothing. You know what my problem is? He'll start it. That's how they'll start. So it is about everything in life is a problem for this person. The second is A stands for anger. They are very angry. Why should I be in this kind of a situation? It is not my fault. It is everybody else's fault because of which I'm here. And they'll be very, very angry about it. I stands for I, which means what? Ego. Why me? Why should it happen to me? I also wrote the exam very well. He didn't even study that much also, but he got more marks, I got less marks. Why me? That professor showed partiality. My parents are beating if there are two siblings in the family, that person is being shown more partiality than me. I am only getting affected always. Everybody is beating only me. That is ego. And N stands for non-acceptance. I am not willing to accept what is happening in my life. So there is a lot of resistance inside me for the situation which is happening in my life. And so I don't accept what is happening to me. So we start blaming other people. Why are you late to college? Bus was late. Not my fault. So you didn't plan for the traffic jam on the road? No. Who thought there will be a traffic jam? Again, same thing in office also. Why late? Sir, maybe a traffic jam. The bus in which I wanted to come did not come. So I had this problem, that problem. Current went off. There was no hot water to take bath. So we externalize all the issues what we do and we don't accept what is happening. So there is non-acceptance. So my question here is I do an activity here with everyone, but I want you to take a screenshot of this again and answer these questions. What is a problem you are unable to solve or you are able to come out of even now? What are the one or two things that makes you angry today? Your expectations not being met. Now, when you talk about I, are you feeling guilty about anything? Do you feel yourself unworthy? Do you have a low self-esteem? Do you think that you are being taken for granted? Are people using you? Are you feeling that you're a victim? Are you feeling that you are ignored by other people? Are you blaming others? Now, these are all indicators of the I. And non-acceptance. What is that one thing or person you're still not able to accept in life? You're not able to forgive that person because of the harm they did to you. Something happened to your closed one and you're not able to come out of it. A situation which you are not able to accept. Are you a perfectionist and do you keep trying to find faults with all other people? So these are all non-acceptance. So for want of time, I want you to just take a screenshot and just write it as a homework. It will definitely help you. Now you have rated yourself in the first time when I asked you, what is the percentage of time you're spending? After doing this exercise, do a re-rating. You will see that your figures are changing. The number what you will put for your rating will change because you would have understood yourself much better. The next is fear. So what is fear about? F stands for failure. So a person in the fear quadrant, these are the characteristics of a person who is in the fear quadrant. The first important thought of not taking action would be, what if I fail? I cannot accept failure. I'm seeing this with so many children today. I'm seeing it so many children today. Failure. They cannot handle failure. E stands for emptiness. E also stands for expectations. What will others think of me? You feel empty when you have fear. No? Very high degree of fear, you can't think. Your brain goes numb. Your mind goes numb. But E also stands more importantly for expectations. What will other people think of me if I fail? Now you are being asked to go to a stage and speak, give a speech. The first aspect is you feel that you will fail. I can't speak. That is fear of failure. The second aspect is what will other people think of me if I don't talk properly? That is expectation. A stands for anxiety. This I need not explain. You become terribly anxious. and your body starts trembling, your voice starts shivering, all those things happen. R stands for resourcelessness. You feel that you don't have the sufficient resource to handle that issue, because of which you are in fear. Now, I can't go and speak on that stage. I can't speak English properly. I can't speak continuously. I can't become a good manager. Whatever I'm learning, I don't have the capacity to understand. So many of these things, you feel you are resourceless. So this is again one place where you need to ask for help from other people, and we don't do that. In my book, I've written a small story about a father and daughter walking on a path in the forest. And in that forest, there is a small branch of tree, which has fallen on this side. Now the father says to the daughter, why don't we push this branch across so that people who come can walk freely? So the daughter tries to push the branch. And the branch, she's a small girl, so she's trying the maximum, but it's not moving. So father says, no, you use all your resources, what you have with you, and you push. It will definitely move. The daughter says, Papa, I have done all my best. You see the way I'm pushing. I'm using all the force to push, but it's not moving. Then the father says, my dear, you are not used all your resources. And she is surprised. She turns at him, looks at him in a pure way and thinks, Lusa, you will effort put I have not used all resources. He said, what? I've used all my resources. He said, you have not used me. I'm a resource standing near me. You didn't ask me to help you. And then he gives his hand, and the branch is easily moved to the other places. Many of us in life think that every problem what we face, we have to solve ourselves. Not necessary. All the people around you are your resource. Your family is your resource. Your friends are a resource. Your colleagues in the college are a resource. The faculty are a resource. How can you use these resources? Ask for help. Use these resources so that you can grow fast. You can short circuit your growth path. Because the kind of knowledge and experience they have, they will be able to give you solutions which you will take so many years to build. So you must never have this feeling of resourcelessness. So when I talk about people who are in the pain quadrant, where P is problem, I tell them never use the word problem in your life. Instead, use the word challenge. Don't say I have a problem. You say I have a challenge. When you say I have a problem, the problem is big and you're small. But when you say I have a challenge, the challenge is small, you're big. The first word which comes to your mind when you say challenge, overcoming the challenge is what comes into your mind. Yes or no? I want to overcome this challenge. So that's a positive frame of mind. But when you say problem and facing a problem, that's a negative state of mind. The problem becomes big. And similarly, when you're on a fear quadrant, it is not about feeling resourceless. It is feeling resourceful. How can I ask for help from other people so that I can actually solve this issue? Now, as I said, these two quadrants are actually very, very powerful quadrants, the pain quadrant and the fear quadrant. Why? They create a lot of stress in life. So what are the activities for the fear quadrant? What are the failures that you're afraid of today? Please take a screenshot of this. What are the failures you're afraid for? Be honest in writing. Have you had this empty feeling in your life? If yes, when? Was it in relationship? Was it in business? Was it financial? Was it spiritual? There's something called spiritual emptiness also. Have you feel embarrassed? Have you felt this anytime? If yes, why? What were your thoughts during that time? What are your anxieties? Are you feeling insecure about anything? Are you feeling about a loss of something, separation? It could be anything. And what are you feeling inadequate about? So maybe you would feel inadequate about your skills. You might feel inadequate about your knowledge. You might feel inadequate about money. You might feel inadequate about relationships. So if you're feeling inadequate there, what is that you want to do? What steps will you take to make that resourcelessness into resourcefulness? Let's say, for example, you need to learn a particular software, a technology. Will you go and enroll yourself in a course? So then that skill, this is a skill gap. So you will be able to overcome that. And all of us are not equally made. We are all different. We are all unique. And there is no need for comparing ourselves here. They are able to do it, I'm not able to do it. A fish can swim in the water. It cannot be on the land. Each one of us are made differently. So the competition is not your friends or colleagues. The competition is yourself. So how can I become more resourceful? How can I convert my weaknesses into strength? So if you can take a screenshot and write this, it will help you again a lot. So these two quadrants, pain quadrant and fear quadrant, as I have repeatedly been stressing, these are your stress quadrants. So here also there is a myth. We talk about management everywhere, disease management, land management, everything is management. And finally, we say stress management also. Stress will always be there. It should be taken for granted. And you have to manage stress. That's what people say today. I completely disagree. Whatever kind of stress you have, they are going to affect your body and your health. So stress has to be mitigated. It is not something to be managed. If you're having a mindset about managing stress, please remove that mindset. You need to mitigate stress. Okay, it is about how you can, because every kind of thought which is stressful creates an effect on your body. And ultimately generates some kind of disease in your body or other. So for example, you would have read this book, you might have heard of her, Louise Hay. She has written a book called You Can Heal Your Life. She says 90% of all diseases have got emotional causes. The good news is you can reverse the disease by reversing the emotion. It is unbelievable but true. So for example, India is the diabetic capital of the world. So I have taken diabetes as an example. The emotional cause for diabetes, number one, looking for what might have been. So if you have a feeling, no, my life should have been like that, but now see, we'll say no. So my life should have been somewhere there, but see where it is now. And you feel bad about it, that kind of a feeling. The second is feeling to have a great need of control. I need to have control about my life and I need to control the life of other people around me. So a person who has got this attitude can become diabetic. The third is deep sorrow. You are not able to come out of some deep sorrow in your life. It could be a death of a spouse, it could be death of a child, it could be a relative, it could be somebody, brother, sibling, anything. Or financial loss. So because of which you went into a deep sorrow and you're not able to come out of it. So that's the third reason for diabetes. And the fourth is, we call it Chakravyadi, you can't eat sugar. The reason is you have no sweetness in your life. So you have lost the sweetness of your life, which means you think, what is this life? It has become very routine. Every day morning, I'm getting up, going to work, doing blah, 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 till 5 o'clock, then coming back home, watching some TV, going to sleep. Next day morning, getting up, going to office, coming back home, sleeping. So if you think that your life has become a routine, there is no joy and fun in life, then also you will become that. So this is one example. There are many such examples I can give you. For example, if you have lower back pain, it is because of insecurity relating to finances, financial insecurity, or it is insecurity in relationship. If you have knee pain, it is because of a feeling that you don't have support in your life. So many times between elderly people, if one of the spouse passes away, then the other person would start complaining about knee pain. I don't have support in my life. The knee indicates support. So every part of the body has got emotional anchorages. So if you have issues relating to kidney stones, is related to anger. Lumps of undissolved anger. So like, that when we are stressed out, we get headache, right? That many of us know. If you are having tension, you get headache. You have migraine headache, which is only because of stress. So all these things, not only these are little things, but these are being called as psychosomatic diseases. So at an early age, when you're all so young, it is very important for you to understand that this aspect of life is very, very important. So it doesn't make sense to live in the pain quadrant or live in the fear quadrant because you are inviting diseases into your body. So there is no way that you can be a victim. You keep on brooding about the past. This has happened to me. See, poor me. See what has happened to me. No, you cannot afford to do that because you are inviting problems relating to health. And some more examples like cancer. Cancer is because of high degree of hatred, unable to forgive people. You ask most of the people who have got cancer issues with them, you will notice that they have a lot of high degree of hate, family related hate, their siblings related problems, many of those kind of things. They may not be in talking terms with people. So much I can keep on telling you a lot. So it's important that we learn to let go of a lot of these feelings. So if you are spending more time in the pain quadrant or in the fear quadrant, it's important for you to realize that you should now come out of these two quadrants. Now, how do you come out? So that's the next part. How do we come out of these two quadrants? So we need to move up. And what is the only way to move up? The only way to move up into the upper quadrant is first you have to come to the learn quadrant. What is this teaching me? What is this particular situation teaching me? What is it exposing me to? You need to learn the lessons of your life. What is this fear teaching you? And only if you come to the learn quadrant, you can go to the gain quadrant. There is no shortcut to go to the gain quadrant. You can't directly go from fear to gain or pain to gain. You cannot go. You have to go through the learn quadrant, and only then you can come to the gain quadrant. So what is that you need to learn? Abdul Kalam says every pain gives a lesson and every lesson changes a person. Fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Are you going to forget everything and run, or are you going to face and rise? So rules for learning. Law of attraction. Many of you would have watched the movie called Secret. And if you have not watched it, please watch that movie. The law of attraction says you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Okay, you attract what you are. What are your thoughts and emotions? What is the kind of feeling you are having inside you? That's what you attract from life. The second is life will always put you in opposite situations. Okay, life will always put you in opposite situations. So if your lesson for you to learn is patience, you will find yourself always around angry people. So for example, now, if you are a short-tempered person, based according to the law, there is anger energy inside you. So you will always attract people who are angry towards you. So that's the first law. You attract what you are. So why are you attracting this kind of situation? Because you need to learn the opposite of anger called patience. So only when you are in an angry situation, you can learn patience. Otherwise, you can't learn patience at all. If you are in an island and when there is nobody there, you will not even know that you have got anger energy inside. That's why knowing yourself becomes very important. So you will always be put in opposite situations in your life. So when you are being put in unpleasant situations in your life, ask the question for yourself, what is the situation teaching me? What is the lesson which I have to pick up from here? There is definitely a lesson there. And once you pick up that lesson, your situation in life will also change. The way you do one thing is the way you will do everything. That's another rule. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Some people say, no, I am very prompt and punctual when it comes to work. But when it comes to my personal life, I procrastinate. I am lazy. No, that doesn't happen. If you have a tendency to procrastinate, you will procrastinate everywhere. If you have a tendency to be lazy, you will be lazy everywhere. The scale may vary, but it will be there. So the way you do one thing is the way you will do everything. I used to always tell my son, once you wake up from the morning, please prepare your bed. Make your bed first. Now that shows one level of discipline. I think somebody has written a book about making a bed also. Some US Army guy or Naval SEAL. Now, if you don't do that, then that carelessness or casualness will be displayed everywhere in your life. It will be there in your work. It will be there in when you interact with friends. It will be there. Every sphere of your life, you will display that everywhere. So the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So that is one very important rule. And then the next, if you keep doing what you're doing, you will keep getting what you get. If you keep doing what you're doing, you will keep getting what you're doing. So if you have to change the way things happen in your life, you need to go back and change what you're doing. So these are some of the important rules for learning. So what does learning mean? L stands for listening. Am I a good listener? Am I listening to other people? Most of the time we don't. E stands for empathizing. Am I able to put myself in the other person's shoes? Again, this is a very difficult thing for many people. A stands for apologizing. Am I able to say sorry? If I have made a mistake, can I apologize? R stands for being resourceful. Now, in fear, these are resourceless. Here, R stands for being resourceful. You need to feel that you are enough. Most of the people whom I meet with, they always have this feeling that I am not enough. There's something lacking in me. So as long as you say I am not enough, you cannot learn. You have to start saying I am enough. Whatever skills, talents, and capabilities I have got today, with this I can implement a lot of things in my life. So when I got into health and wellness, I was not the best. I just quit my IT company and I came out. I sold my directorship and my shares, and then I came out and started Wellness Mentor Consulting. I didn't have all the skills and talents which I have today, but I have to start somewhere. So my strong belief was whatever resource I have with me, that is enough for me to start. And once you start moving. So you need to feel that I am enough. My resources, whatever I have today, that is enough to handle the situation coming and standing in front of me. And remember, life will never give you a situation which you cannot handle. I'm repeating this. Life will never throw a situation at you which you cannot handle. So many people who go and commit suicide are the biggest idiots of their life. You don't have the right to take your life. And whatever situation, however challenging it might be, it will only come and stand in front of you only if and only if, because it stands in front of you because you can handle it. The universe knows that you can handle it. That's why it's coming and standing in front of you. And if you say, no, this is too big for me, then you don't know your potential. N stands for being neutral, being non-judgmental. If you see, most of the time, what are we doing? We are judging other people. Every minute, every second, we judge other people. So if you have to learn, you must become non-judgmental. You must become neutral. So these are the qualities to have if we really have to learn from our pain quadrant and learn from our fear quadrant. Now, if this is not an easy thing, we need to build it. It's a journey. And as you start building this, you will start understanding things better. You will start learning your life better. Now, all these things are very, very important for becoming a leader from within. Remember, we are talking about that subject. So here again, the exercise would be listening. I classify it into two. Are you listening to your others first properly? Are you hearing or listening? Most of the time, we hear to reply. We don't listen to respond. Both are two different things. We hear to reply. And even before that person starts talking, what will say? I know what you're coming to say. And then we start replying. We don't listen. So do you judge? And as he keeps telling it, you judge. Okay, this fellow is talking like this. This is what he is going to say. And this is the answer I have to give. You are prepared with your answer even before he finishes the statement. So are you inferring? Or are you actually, as somebody asks, are you busy today? What is that? Immediate what is the question? Are you busy today? What should have been your answer? I'm busy. I'm not busy. But what we normally do? Why are you asking? Because we are thinking about what we are trying to infer. Why is this fellow asking me, am I free or busy? Maybe he's going to give me some job. He may burden me with some extra work. So we keep inferring. Okay, so are we listening or are we hearing? It's an important question to ask. Then, more importantly, are you listening to yourself? Do you spend time with yourself, your inner voice? Are you doing an inner reflection of how your day was? How did you speak to people during the day before you go to bed? Where all were you nice to people? Can you pat yourself on your back? And where all you were not so nice? Maybe you could have spoken in a little better manner. Do you analyze your action and thoughts? And what is your body telling you? Your body talks to you. Wherever you have pain in your body, it is your body's way of telling you that I need attention there. Are we listening? So this is about the importance of listening is very, very important. And then it is about empathy. Are you able to put yourself in other people's shoes? So please take a screenshot here and then write answers for all these questions. Are you able to say sorry? Write 5 situations where you are able to say sorry and you are not able to say sorry. Why are you not able to say sorry? When have you felt resourceful? And if you have not felt resourceful, why? Have you been non-judgmental? Have you been neutral? Have you accepted people as they are without any inner conflict? We want people to be like us. I am able to do this. Why are you not able to do that? I am so feeling oriented for you. Why are you not feeling oriented? I am liking all your Facebook posts. Why are you not liking my post? I say good morning to you every day. You are not telling good morning. So let me block you. Are we able to accept people as they are? These 5 fingers are different. Can we accept that each of them are different and each of them have got different qualities? Many times we don't. So these expectations actually causes us problems and griefs. So if you have learned your lessons here, then you're coming to the gain quadrant. What is gain? G stands for goals. You need to set goals in your life. And that's very, very important. Without goals, you will not progress. If you don't have a goal now, at least now start creating your goals. A stands for actions. It's not enough if you make your goals alone. You need to take action on implementing your goals. You need to take one small step, which will take you closer to the goal every day. And that actually is what you builds your habits. I stands for intent or intelligence. Do I have the intelligence to do that? And what is my intention? Is it about making money? Is it about helping people? Am I doing something for the community or society? What is my intention? That's important. And N stands for nurturing. When you come to the gain quadrant, you're already great. You're already successful. Now, are you nurturing other people? Are you nurturing yourself? It's important to nurture yourself. It is important to nurture others. Are you creating other leaders? Are you helping other people to grow? Are you pulling somebody up? Now, that's an important quality. I know many people who have gone to the gain quadrant and fallen down very badly. Because success blinds people. Okay, that is where you need all your resilient quotient, your spiritual quotient, and all those things are needed there so that you can stay in the gain quadrant. So once you come to the gain quadrant, you need to have all these qualities. So again, worksheet for you. What are your goals? Personal goals, financial goals, relationship goals. What are the action points? How can you convert these into your daily habits? What is the intelligence you need? Do you need any new skill? Whether you need any knowledge, whether you need any extra thing you need to learn. Do you want to do a course? Please go ahead and do that. Please don't just depend on what the college is teaching you. There are so many ways in which today you can learn so many things which are of interest to you. Now, what do you have the right intent, as I said? And how will your goal nurture you and the people around you? How is the world going to get benefited? You're all going to become leaders tomorrow. What is the contribution you're going to give to the world? Even when you work in organizations, that organization is giving something to the world. It is solving the problem of the world in some way. What problem of the world you're solving? Nurturing yourself, as I said, and nurturing family, community, employees, friends, colleagues, everything. So these are the 4 quadrants. So the template, now we have seen, what is that we have seen now? We have seen what it means to be a leader from within. We understood what is it. Then we have gone into the detail of the most difficult aspect of leadership from within, meaning understanding ourselves. So where we spoke about the mind and we spoke about the 4 quadrants where we, because of thoughts and feelings, we get into any of these 4 quadrants. Most of the time we spend in the pain or in the fear quadrant. And how is that? It is important to move out of the pain and the fear quadrant. We need to go to the learning quadrant and the important rules of learning, and then moving into the gain quadrant. So once you come to the gain quadrant, you are successful in life. And if you apply whatever I have spoken to you now, you also will be, in addition to being successful, you will be healthy and happy also. That is all we all want, right? Why are we learning? Why are we working? Why are we studying? All this ultimately, the ultimate goal for every human being is to be happy. We all want to be happy in life. We think if I have an iPhone 13, I'll be happy. So you want to buy an iPhone 13. Right? We all want to be happy in life ultimately. And in order to be happy in life, we need to know where we are among these 4 quadrants. And then what are those qualities? So let's see what is a template. I want to give you a template. What is that you need to do in order to become a leader from within? First important thing, you need to have the right view. As we talk about, accurate perception of things, seeing things as they are. That's very important. So without getting colored, without getting mirrored, or without being blinded, am I having the right view? The second is right intentions. Are my intentions right? Why do I need what I'm looking for? The third is right speech. Am I using words correctly? Am I talking properly? I must not be telling lies. I must be honest. I must not do backbiting. I must not gossip. These are all related to right speech. Right action. Am I implementing that properly? Right livelihood. Am I living that life properly? What does livelihood mean? You are not harming other people. Your profession, whatever business you are doing, is not harmful to the other people. So you're not doing harm to others. You're not spoiling the environment. You're not removing the sewage water of your factory and putting it in the river nearby, or you're not polluting the pond nearby. What is the effort you take for that? Are you taking the right wholesome efforts and wholesome actions? Are you doing that? That is right effort. Right concentration. Are you focused on what you're doing? What is willpower in terms of your focus? Now, there is a myth which was busted. We always talk about multitasking. They say people who are multitasking are less efficient than people who do single tasking. So are you able to spend time for each of your activities? Are you able to concentrate? Is your mind there? Are you able to concentrate and do it properly? What is your mental discipline? That is about right concentration. And finally, right mindfulness. Are you there? Are you in the present? We spoke about 4 quadrants, but there is a 5th quadrant. I'm going to come to that quadrant. What is the 5th quadrant? Now, when you are sitting and listening to me in the class, absolutely engrossed with my talk, you are neither in the past, you are nor in the future. Okay, so then where are you? You are in the present. So that's the center. So that is mindfulness. You are completely engrossed in what you do. But as you listen to as you're sitting in the class, if your mind has gone somewhere, then you're not in the present. You have gone either to the future or to the past. So right mindfulness is about being there in that particular state, awareness. Now, many scientific research has been done on mindfulness and all, and today it's an established norm that being mindful makes people more productive. Are you attentive with your body, mind, your thoughts, your feelings? Are they in that place? If you're sitting and attending a class, are you completely there? If you're watching a movie, are you completely inside the movie? That is called mindfulness. Now, this you might remember something. This you would have studied in school. Can you relate this to something what you have studied in school? Anyone? Anyone? Can you remember? You might have studied this in your history, maybe in 9th standard or 10th standard or something. For want of time again, it's called the Eightfold Path of Buddhism. It is the Eightfold Path of Buddhism. What Buddha talks about the Eightfold Paths. Okay, that is from where I have picked up. Okay, so this is about the aspect of, if you apply this into your life, it is an excellent template for mind leadership. Okay, so the next is, I want to give you 12 golden rules. The 12 golden rules for implementing in your life. Shortcuts, tips. 1, spend minimum 1 hour in the morning for yourself. Do not take your mobile phone the first thing in the morning and start seeing WhatsApp messages. Or you don't be so magnanimous to send good morning to everybody in there. It is not going to help you in any way. That 1 hour of your life, 24 hours you have got. And everybody in the world, including the president of US, has got the same 24 hours. Now, in that 24 hours, give that 1 hour for this mission called the body. Now, if this mission is good, a sound mind in a sound body, they say. So do some physical exercises, do some walking, do some jogging, go to a gym, do something. But spend that 1 hour breathing, meditation. You can do anything, but spend that 1 hour for yourself. The second, share your pain and fears with family and friends. I see many youngsters today not doing this. They think that they can't tell their problems outside. And they become mentally ill. They become sick. Physical illness, people immediately go to a doctor. But mental illness, people don't go. They don't even tell. Mental illness is very similar to physical illness. You need to address that. Ask for help if you need emotional support. Take care of your team members. Who are your team members? Today, your team members, your family members is your team. Your classmates are a team. When you work, the team members are the people who work with you, your colleagues. All of them are important. It is a team which is going to create and magnify success for you. As an individual person, there is a limit to what you can do. It is always the team. Look at this program. Now, how many people would have been involved to do this program and make it a success? So the teams are always important. Cut unnecessary expenditure. Now, this is a time when you definitely need to learn that money is important. One bed went for 1 lakh during the Corona time. One bed was being sold in Chennai for 1 lakh. Okay, you need to learn to invest wisely. and something which they don't teach us in our school, something like stock market, mutual funds. These are things which you as youngsters should learn today, understand, and start participating, trying it out. There are risks involved, but you can definitely learn and do calculated things in order to invest wisely. That's why I said invest wisely. Bitcoins and all that are coming now. Be careful. Cryptocurrency. There are a lot of things in the market, but you need to invest wisely. You should have minimum 6 months emergency fund with you. That's what I say. Minimum 6 months of your salary you must have with you, which you can take. You never know when you will require them. Understand that worry will not help. There is no use in worrying about the past or worrying about the future. You need to take action. Can you do something about it? Do it. If you can't do anything about it, don't worry. Change the way you work. Learn technology. Now, there is no way today that you can escape technology. There are so many apps available which can increase your workflow. It can increase your productivity and improve your life. So instead of just wasting time watching reels, learn something new in terms of technology. Can you learn you can use some time management apps like Pomodoro, and that can help you to manage your time properly. So there are so many things which are available today. You can automate your calendar. A lot of things you can do. Now, avoid watching negative news. Now, when you're all business management graduates, I'm not telling you not to read business newspaper. But please don't read the other newspapers which are actually, every news is a paid news today. And
sir, it has
Yeah,
got.
yeah. It's already.
yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
So avoid watching all this because you are getting programmed by them. The Fair and Lovely advertisement tells you in 30 seconds that you can become fair and lovely when you apply that cream. Okay, if they can sell that to you, and a lot of us have learned marketing and sales. We know how we are influencing other people. Okay, and you are getting influenced by the negative news. Be careful. Practice forgiveness. Now, this is something very, very important. Don't carry hatred with you. Hatred will become a disease tomorrow. Practice forgiveness. There is nothing in the world which you cannot forgive. And relationships will improve if you forgive other person. Write a gratitude journal every day before you go to bed. What do you mean? What do I mean by a gratitude journal? Before you go to sleep, have a diary where you write 3 things you are happy about today. Write 3 things you are thankful for. And write 3 things you need to do tomorrow. That's it. 3 things you are happy for. Today, I am happy that I attended this class. Today, I am happy that I was able to answer what my teacher asked me. 3 things you are happy with. And write 3 things you are thankful for or grateful for. We take a lot of things in life for granted. The very fact that you are able to sit here and attend this class, you must be able to list down. I can tell you that you will not be able to list down more than 10 things you are thankful for. If I ask you to write now, you might write a maximum of 10 things you are thankful for. But you can actually write 100 things you are thankful for today. Many people didn't wake up today, you woke up. Starting from there. You are still breathing now, you are alive. Many people are not. They passed away as you are sitting in the class. The breakfast you took today morning, how many people were responsible for bringing that breakfast onto your table? Not only your mother who cooked the food, but what about the people who, from where did she get the vegetables? And where did that vendor get the vegetable from? And ultimately, if you track the chain, until you're learning supply chain management, until the person, the farmer. So as you keep thanking the roads which transported the food, the lorry driver who drove that lorry, the cleaner who was sitting near him. So if you start thinking that way, you can write hundreds of things which you can be thankful for and grateful for. Now, let me give you a tip why you must be thankful and forgiving. I have highlighted these 2 things for 2 important reasons. Forgiveness is an antidote for pain. If you are in the pain quadrant, forgiveness is an antidote. The more you forgive, you will be able to come out of the pain quadrant quicker. And gratitude is the antidote for fear. Gratitude is the antidote for fear. The more you are thankful for, the lesser you will be afraid of anything. Again, you can go online and research. There are scientific studies done. There are so many research articles published, both on forgiveness and on gratitude. You can go and read. So I am not talking about any kind of religion or philosophy here. I'm talking with strong scientific backing. Unfortunately, they read it in my resume now. I do research on Eastern sciences. And so those days, our ancient rishis and munis already knew this. And that's why they have incorporated all this in what they call as Sanatana Dharma. And every religion says forgive. You take Christianity, you take Islam, you take any religion. Everybody talks about forgiving and being grateful. Why? They are very, very scientific. And the last, be mindful. Be always in the present. It doesn't mean that you will not go back into the other quadrants. But if you are in the present quadrant, you will handle everything from the present quadrant. You may go to pain, you may go to fear, but again you will bounce back and you will come back. So this is the fifth life position and the most powerful life position. It is from the present that you will be able to access future properly, correctly. And so try to be in this fifth quadrant. That is the meaning of being mindful. So if you can remember all this and retain some of this at least, the rest of your life will be the best of your lives. So and one more thing, it is not about creating a leader in you alone. You need to create leaders in others. So again, I have an acronym for that. L stands for leading with high self-esteem. Create a positive environment wherever you are. Wherever you go, wherever you are, create a positive environment. A stands for attitude of trust and gratitude. You need, the attitude actually determines your altitude. It's not your aptitude. It's your attitude that is going to determine where you're going to go. Delegate. Ensure accountability. E stands for ensuring accountability. You might delegate, but make people accountable. You also be accountable first. R stands for responsibility. Don't do micromanagement. Once you give some work to others, remember that they will be able to do it. Help them. Study. Very, very important. You must be a lifelong learner. Study doesn't stop. So it is like the plant. I come from an agriculture background. If a plant doesn't grow, it means that the plant is dying. So similarly, if a human being is not growing, it means that the human being is dying. Now, if you're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. I'll repeat that. If you're not learning, you are not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So lifelong learning is very, very important. H stands for honesty. The more and more you try to be honest. Now, this doesn't mean that you hurt other people with your honesty. Okay, you definitely need to be compassionate and merciful. But if you practice honesty, what will happen is what you say will become the truth. What you say will become the truth. You can read the book Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahamsa Yogananda. It's an excellent book to read. And you will know what I'm talking about. I stands for integrity. Live a life which is, so when you say something, stick up to that. There are hardly very few people in the world who live with honesty and integrity. Try to become that one exclusive club membership you take. And P stands for perseverance. You need to persevere with a lot of courage. So we have come to leadership here. So this is leadership. And you can apply this into your life. And so that you create leaders for leadership in other people also. And once you do that, you will become a really, really good leader from within. So I want you to leave you with a small prayer. This is called the Serenity Player, which says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are a lot of things in life you cannot change, my dear friends. They are not in your control. The pandemic was not in your control. So many things happened. So many businesses went out. Not in your control. So there are a lot of things you cannot change. You must be able to accept them. And whenever there are things which you can change, you must have the courage to change them. The courage to change the things I can. And definitely you need to have the wisdom to differentiate between what you cannot change and what you can change. So thank you so much for the opportunity. With this, I have come to a close of my session. And you can ask me questions. You can tell your feedbacks. You can also tell me your takeaways, what you had from the session. So back to you, sir.
So nice listening to you, Nandakumar, for the last more than 1 hour, 15 minutes. Thanks a lot. Nandakumar, you were talking about the number of thoughts which we come across every day. I mean, it's almost mind-boggling. I mean, 80,000 thoughts in a day, out of which almost 80% are considered to be negative. Okay, 90% old thoughts, 80% negative. Okay, one way to manage is, of course, managing the negative thoughts. That is what you spoke about. Okay, maybe it may look like a dumb question, but still, I will ask you.
No question is.
Right. That is what I tell my students. Okay. Right. How to reduce the number of thoughts? Say, for example, 80,000 thoughts. Okay. I'm sure most of them are unnecessary thoughts. Am I right? Unwarranted, yes. Unnecessary kind of. Is there any possibility to reduce the number of thoughts?
One of the way to reduce the amount of thoughts coming in or generated automatically is by meditation. The other is breathing exercise. Two things, two ways.
Okay.
One is breathing exercises, any kind of breathing exercises, and meditation. These are two ways in which you can bring down the thoughts are happening now. Mind, if you take, there are two aspects of the mind. One is the conscious mind, the other is the subconscious mind. The thoughts are generated in your conscious mind. So calming down the conscious mind would already bring down the number of thoughts which are getting generated. The way of calming down is one by using breathing, the other is by meditation. So meditation doesn't mean you need to do complicated things. All you need to do sometimes is to just sit in a place, 10 minutes, and just be aware of the air going inside your nose and the air coming out of your nose. Breath watching, we call it. You just be aware of the breath going in, breath coming out. Thoughts will come, thoughts will go. But you will see that over a period of time, these thoughts starts dying down. And as we keep practicing it, the number of thoughts can become lesser and lesser and lesser. As you said, most of them are unwanted thoughts.
Good enough. Good enough. Right. Shri Raman, we can make it open to the students.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Students, you can raise your hand so that I can call you. Yes, Professor, you can start with your question.
Sir, it was a very nice session, sir. Nandakumar, sir, very informative. It makes everyone to self-introspect, right? Our pains, gains, and finally everything, because everyone has their own. We have our own pains and our own gains and our learnings. But one thing I heard about that, when we not able to control some negative thoughts, okay, because if a negative thought, somewhere we observed it, right? We observed it or the event, whatever happened. If to overcome this, we can have so many positive thought also we will develop, so that the negative thought comes, then immediately it can be replaced by the brain with the positive thought. Is it a successful one, sir?
It's absolutely true, because if you create a habit of thinking positively and you generate more and more of positive thoughts, this is what they do in terms of affirmations. What will happen is when this negative thought comes, automatically, it's like riding a bicycle. Automatically, the positive thought will come and overcome that. So there can be only one thought at a time in your mind. You cannot have two parallel thoughts happening at the same time. So what will happen is automatically the positive thoughts will start replacing the negative thoughts. That is one way of doing it. Another way to answer again Narayan's question, another way of calming your mind down is by just humming. In yoga, they call it the Brahmari. They use that position and all, but simply when you say the Om, in Om it is A, U and M. In Aman or Amin, everywhere it's all based on the same thing. So you have an A, you have an U, and you have an M. So when you do that, if you do this, you will see that your brain becomes clear of thoughts. So if you are in a situation where you are highly tense, lot of negative thoughts, just sit and do this. Easy technique. But as you said, definitely the more number of positive thoughts, if you practice positivity and start inculcating positive thoughts constantly, then automatically you will be able to replace those negative thoughts with positive. It is also important to understand the feelings associated with those thoughts. So the emotion also has to be changed.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
A very, very simple way of doing it is, now you feel very bad about a particular situation. So what you do, we normally ask in this counseling process, what will you advise a friend who thinks this, who has got the same problem as you have?
Suppose
what will you tell a friend? What will you tell a friend who has the same problem which you are facing? Now you will see that immediately the way you think will become different. You will never say, you also sit and cry. You will never.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's another technique.
We console them. We definitely come with so many positive thoughts for him. The situation will be over. Definitely, we are here with you, right? So
Exactly.
That's what we have to. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Muthu Selvi, you can ask.
Good afternoon, sir.
Definitely.
How often we should integrate ourselves to know our strength and weakness?
Every day before going to bed. Every day introspect for 5 minutes. What did I do the entire day? What are all the good things I did? What were all the not so good things I did? How should I correct? And then write your gratitude.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Rajat.
Greetings, sir. Myself, Rajat Raghu. I'm studying my first year MBA. So my question was a great session, sir. Like knowing ourselves and how we can do better for ourselves. And my question is how to reschedule our routine, sir. Because right now I'm having a really bad routine. I can just check. Because when I walk up, as you said, I just scroll over the Instagram, and it's actually waste of time, I know, but I'm not able to get over it. Like I try to do for 2 to 3 days, but I'm not able to sustain it. So any steps to start?
Okay. One tip is, first, never keep your mobile phone at a reachable distance from the place you sleep. I'll tell you two things, sir. If this was a physical class, I would have shown you physical mobile phone on the body energy. It has got a very, very bad energy on the body. So because of that itself, the maximum you keep the mobile phone away from you, the radiation from the mobile phone affects your entire body system. And particularly when you're sleeping, all your body toxins are being removed. That's the time when your body repairs itself. And so keeping a mobile phone is very, very harmful when you sleep. So keep the mobile phone minimum a distance of 4 or 5 feet away from your bed. If you want to, I know many people today see the phone, look at it like this and go off to sleep and then wake up with it. Keep it away so that you don't have that inclination to sleep. The next important thing is put it so that morning as you get up, you will start doing that 1 hour for yourself. Whenever you have, remove all the notifications from the phone. Don't have any notifications because notifications will tempt you to sleep. And so remember one thing, all the people who are sending you Instagram messages and who are all putting you WhatsApp messages, they are your time robbers. I call them as, they are robbing your time. The moment you open WhatsApp and you just open and close it just to remove that notification there, to remove that green mark, you will see that 20 minutes to half an hour is already gone. Yes or no? So they are your time robbers. So be very clear in your mind, WhatsApp, Instagram and all is my time. It's not your time. So if somebody says, I sent you a WhatsApp message, I tell you what I follow. I tell people, if you send me a WhatsApp message, I will see only when I have time to see. The best way to reach me, give me a missed call. You need not even spend money. You give me a missed call, I'll call you back. If you want to reach me, call me. So if you communicate this to everybody, then there is no, a lot of people are having this issue called FOMO, fear of missing out. There is nothing going to happen. There nothing earth-shaking will happen in your life. If somebody really wants to reach you, they will reach you in some way or other. Okay, so remove that fear and then never become addicted to anything else in your life. That is what you should see. One thing you should know, your mind is the most powerful device you have got with you, and this mind should not get addicted to anything. That's important. So I will not get addicted to my mobile phone. That must be the clarity which you should have. I will be the master. It has to be my slave.
That was really nice, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Darshan, you can ask.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself Darshan, first year student. Sir, my question is, after the pandemic, many of the people have went to negative thoughts, sir. I think I'm one of them definitely. So what can you do in a situation like this, sir?
What kind of negative thought?
Sir, after the pandemic, a lot of jobs have been eradicated, and many people are getting sick. So when I look at that, I think, what if I become one of them or something like that?
So I told you, no, law of attraction. You attract what you are. So the most important thing is, see, the pandemic itself is because of fear. Right? What has it done? It has created a lot of fear. When you have fear inside you, your immune system goes down. Now that is science. It is medical science itself. Every time when you have fear, your immune system takes a toss. It goes down. So your vulnerability to get infected by a virus is more. So if you don't, you see a lot of people walking around without mask. They don't get affected. I'm not saying that you should walk around without mask, but what I'm saying is you must walk around without having fear. Fear brings down your immune system. So when you have fear, you're actually inviting. That's why if you see, when you catch a cold, most of the time you will notice that when you are low only, you will catch a cold. When you are high with energy, you will never catch cold. Think back and see. When you're down, when you feel less, your moods are low. Typically in winter time and all, your moods are generally low. You catch cold. Why? Because your immune system gets affected when you are having fear inside. And one of the ways is high degree of fear. So one thing what you need to do is to remove the fear. You have to remove the fear. Number one. How do you remove the fear? You need to face life. Okay. If it has to come, it will come. And today there is nothing, there is nothing earth-shaking about it. People are not dying. And all those things are already there. See, for all of us, ultimately this fear related to corona is relating to dying, falling sick or anything. Remember one thing, friends. We are all in a queue. We don't know where is our number. I don't know my number. You don't know your number. Okay. So that is the one reality in life which we need to face. Death is the only reality in life. And once we know that it is a reality, you make it your companion, then you will not be afraid. So every day you must live like as though tomorrow there is no tomorrow for you. Then you will be very positive. So when you do that, so you will not have fear at all. So don't encourage fear. What happens to other people need not happen to you. You are different. You have a purpose why you are born. Right? You are a very, very unique person. And you will not just like that go off from this world without creating your impact in this world. Believe that. Trust that. There were millions of sperms which entered that womb of your mother, and there was only one sperm which could actually enter and create you. That is your uniqueness. And that was not just for something. There was a purpose why you were born. So be positive. That's the most important thing. And whenever these kind of negative thoughts come, overcome them with positive thoughts. That's the important thing to do. How do you get fear? If you have fear for water, how do you overcome that fear? By going into the water and swimming, right? If you're afraid to sit in a dark room, how will you overcome that fear? You need to go and sit in the dark room and experience it. So face this fear. By facing the fear, you will overcome this. You ask the question, why am I having this fear? Go to that root cause analysis. What will happen? Okay, if I catch corona, what will happen? So what? So what? So what? You ask 5 questions. Your 5 whys. You ask that question. Or 5 so whats you ask. You will ultimately understand that this is something which I need not bother. That is a way to train the mind to handle fear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have a question from Siddharth Guru, our alumni. What is your leadership philosophy? He has posted in the chat.
Very simple. My philosophy is 4 words. One is be just and fear not. That was a motto of my school where I studied. I studied in a school called R.S. Krishnan Higher Secondary School in Trichy. The motto of the school was be just and fear not. I follow that till today. The second, which I have built for myself, be fair, be firm. I in all my dealings, I'll be very, very fair with people and I'll be very firm. If I know that I'm right, I'll stand there, I'll be firm. So be fair, be firm, be just and fear not is my leadership philosophy.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Students, yeah, I think Janaki. Okay. Yeah, Janakiram, sir, you can ask, sir. Sir, you are muted. Sir, you have to unmute yourself, Janakiram, sir. You will have to unmute yourself.
Good. Thank you, Professor Sriraman.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Nandakumar, it was great listening to you. I have two connects with you. One is I'm an alumnus from TNAU, as Mr. Narayanan mentioned. And the other thing is when you said you are also from Trichy, that's another connect. Proud to meet with you on this platform. And thanks to Mr. Narayanan, DJ AME, for this opportunity to listen to you. And a couple of things. I've been away, of course, for about 25 years from Coimbatore, and most of the time in Bombay and few years abroad, and worked for a couple of multinationals. And believe me, whatever you said, I was absolutely resonating with me. Quickly, if I can share in the interest of the students. Number one, when you said integrity, moral standards, and ethics, brilliantly we followed this in American Cinemat as well as BASF. And believe me, as a marketing manager, I had a budget X. I spent 25% above the budget. And that particular year, the entire company was negative in their profit level. And my CFO said, Janki, that's how he used to call me. Janki, it is because Janki, you saved your job. Because company wasn't told, we made loss in that year. And on top of it, I spent 25% more. It was about 25, 30 lakhs. Way back in mid-90s, it was a big money. So that is one thing. So that really, it came from within, and then you followed that, follow your conscience. And, we also say that since you're under remote control, when in doubt, check your conscience. So that's your boss all the time, all your life. That is one. Second thing, if I can again share in the interest of our students, I lost a good opportunity in the United States. It's not that I really lost, but maybe I don't know. What happened was I lost the battery life in my computer laptop. I traveled from Bombay to Des Moines in the United States for an interview. And a senior executive came to the airport, picked me up, and whole day interview. Lunch, I was taken to the baseball club by the chairman and his wife themselves. Everything went brilliant. But they said, as a leader, this guy did not ask for any help because my power went down. I used the PowerPoint behind. I was watching the backs of all the people. I was watching the screen, but other people were watching the screen too. I was backing the backs of all the people. I didn't face the people. More than anything else, they said as a leader, he should ask for help from the team. He would have simply asked someone to operate the computer, come in front of the audience and presented it. So these are all great learning. So I was enjoying when you were presenting these things. It was brilliant. Apart from great leadership skills and knowledge that you were sharing with the students, the tips for wellness and health and happiness also was really brilliant. I think you blended beautifully well, really beautifully well, communicated very, very elegantly, and driven the message also very powerfully. Thank you very much, Mr. Nandakumar, and thanks to the Institute for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I would love to be in touch with you maybe sometime later. Yeah.
Definitely, me too.
Yes, students, anyone has questions, please raise your hands. Okay.
Or so we shall wrap it up? Yeah.
We'll yes.
We can wrap it up. Yeah.
Sir, it was indeed a very informative and enriching session. We have learned a lot. And as Janaki Raman sir told, I could also resonate so many things as you were conversing. It's all fact. I think this generation has to experience it as they move up in their professional career. So now let me invite Pranesh, our first MBA student, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon all. On behalf of DJ Academy for Managerial Excellence, I would like to thank our today's speaker, Sri Nandakumar Gopalan, for sparing his valuable time for us today. Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to thank our beloved director, Dr. AGV Narayanan, for his continuous encouragement and support. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our faculty members, students of DJAME, and all other participants for attending today's Corporate Connect. Thank you all, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Nandakumar. Once again, looking forward to have you amidst us physically when the time permits.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir, Janakaram sir, thank you very much for your presence.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Mr. Thank you, Mr. Nandakumar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.